Hmm. So hello po. Good day po everyone. So I'm back. So welcome back again to our Roboton training series. So now po, we are on week 5. And I'm quite excited to see for how you've come. So previously you have trained the fundamentals, the basics. So in each session, it brings us closer to mastering the robotics and the challenges. So the things that we learn here are not just for the competition, but we can also apply it on our lessons. So ngayong week 5, mas hands-on na tayo. Step by step, matututo tayo ng skills na hindi lang pang competition, hindi lang pang laro. So we can also use these learnings in our classes. So syempre kasama ang guidance ng teachers and support ni parents, siguradong mas magiging confident pa tayo sa pagpo-program. And I hope mas maging creative pa tayo, lalo na sa pag-solve ng challenges. So tara, let's start the training session. Ayan. So before we start, some training house rules, of course. So number one, coaches must participate. So once again, we are doing this free weekly training for both coaches and for teachers and for students and also for parents. Yeah. So we are expecting to let the coaches guide the students beyond the session. So after the session, if may mga materials na tayo, yan, I hope mas mag-guide natin sila, mga students. And of course, don't forget the format, school-name, and keep our mic muted unless may questions po tayo. If may questions po tayo, you can raise your hand for questions. And if you are quite shy, you can also type in chat. And also, it's okay to take some screenshots. You can save codes. Yeah. So what's our topic for today? And we will review the use of functions. In previous weeks, Sir Hiller discussed the basics, the fundamentals in programming. So we have learned the conditionals, the functions, the simple variables. But now, we are going to apply it in competition. Like how do we actually use the things that we have learned, right? So later we will also discuss encapsulating. What is encapsulating? Encapsulating those programs in robotic movements. And also we will practice for now, since we don't have any materials yet, we will practice virtually. And of course, this training session, yan, mas exciting na po dahil we will go on hands-on. And of course, later on, we'll just strategize with students. So let's have a bit of a Q&A. So here's our expectations right now. So once again, we will combine functions and movement codes into one. Yeah. Then we will use the Synapse City map virtually. So we must understand how to actually use the things that we have learned. And so we will build some reusable blocks, reusable functions. Maybe you can use this in your classes kapag nag-start na. Yeah. And also we are expecting na baka build tayo ng basic program, basic function na each student and even the parent can guide the student na at least one movement function that composes a short mission. So let's do a short mission, right? And so reminders, these are just the reminders. Yan, visit AIROC.space. So let me copy this link and send this to the Zoom meeting chat. www.iroc.space iroc.space/ph. Ayan, iroc.space/ph. Ayan. So there's some new updates in the website, so you can view. And also Roboten.Asia. Yeah. So always visit those for updates and just check it. Like weekly or monthly, baka may new updates. So let's continue here. Also, don't forget to check our gameplay recap. The link is also in the AIROC.space.ph. So if you have any clarifications, any questions that you need to look up, yan, nandyan yung gameplay. Nandito din yung rulebook and also the scoring criteria. So once again, where are those links? Here. And let's visit AIROC.space/ph. And you can read the PDFs, the guides here, and just scroll down or either click this, resources and downloads. Ayan po. Makikita natin yung PDF files for gameplay, rulebook, and the scoring criteria. Ayan. So you can always go back. You can always have something to refer to. So let's continue with our actual topic. Yeah. So we know the competition has randomization, right? So in 2024 and in 2025, we have experienced randomization. And that is the hard part in the competition. So we are always expecting some random location to appear na sana ito yung na-prepare namin, sana lumabas to. Yan. So I want to help you na to be prepared on those things. So we will discuss the basics of the usage of the functions. Ayan. So everybody, I want you to look at this code. I want you to think. I want you to analyze what does this do. Ayan. Anong ginagawa nito? I'll just give you a second to think, to analyze. Anong ginagawa ng simple code na to? Okay? Next. So, this code is for lower levels. Yan. And this next code is the C++ version, which is for the higher levels. And I just want you to look at this. Yan. So, let's take a moment to analyze. Ayan. So, these two codes are similar. They're just the same. But, I want you to ask yourselves, can you immediately understand? Nagigets kaya agad natin kung anong nakasulat dito? Like, sa isang basa lang, sa isang glance, in one glance, can we immediately understand what the code does? And also right here. So, yeah, I got some like reacts. Okay. So, right now, we are understanding na, okay, it moves, okay, it grabs something. But do we actually know where it moves? Can we innately know na, okay, it goes to this location? Can we immediately imagine na, okay, this code goes from here to there? No, right? Because we just know na it just moves, it just turns, it just grabs. But the main question is, where? Where? Right? Can we imagine where? Like, right now, imagine the Synapse City map. Okay, okay, spoilers alert. Ayan. Let's imagine this map. Ayan. Let's imagine this map. By looking at those code, do you immediately know where the code goes? Not really, right? Not really. We just know it moves, but we don't know kung saan siya. Ayan. That's the problem with this kind of writing. What if we made it to be readable? What if we made it to be readable in one glance? Sulyap lang, like, isang tingin mo lang, alam mo na, agad. Kahit gaano pa yan kahaba. Even though it's longer than it should be, in just one glance, alam mo na agad kung saan siya pupunta. Diyan po papasok si functions. Ayan. So what are functions? Ayan. So imagine this code is readable. So what if I know that this block of code, this block of code is go to S2. Ibig sabihin is storage 2 in map. Right? What if this block of code means green indicator grab? So we're just grabbing things. The next is, what if this whole block of code means from S2 to D2. Right? Okay, so let's visit the map again. And here. We know na that code from here, it goes to S2. Where's S2? This is S2. Lalagyan ng neutralizer blocks. This is S2. Now we know we grab something from S2 and from S2 to D2. Where's D2? So remember in HCT we have D1, D2, D3, and D4. So by using functions, we know where to go. D2. Here, dito. Diba? Pun. Ayan. We are going to D2. So right now, by just glancing at the code, we know and we can imagine na this goes to S2, then grabs something, grabs the neutralizer block, then later goes to S2 to D2. Yan. So that's not the actual code. That's not the answer. I'm just giving you an idea kung ano itsura ng function. So in C++, so this is again for higher levels. What if this code can be read like this? This block of code go to S2. This block of code green indicator grab. This block of code is from S2 to D2. So how do we understand? How do we really understand functions? Yan. So what's a function? So this is a review. Yan, everybody, this is a review. So this function is a block of code that performs a specific set of tasks. Yan. So inside a function, there's a lot of actions. Yan, there's a lot of actions. And you can call it or you can use it whenever you need that task. So for example, let's make an analogy. Yeah, let's make an analogy in real life. So let's say the function is named ligo. Naliligo, ganun. Naliligo. So the function is named naliligo. So I want you to think, what are the set of actions or the steps that you need to take tuwing naliligo? Taking a bath. So, i-imagine natin. Tuwing maliligo ko, take off our clothes, open the gripo, then kuha ko ng tubig, buhos ko sa sarili ko, then kuha ko sabon, kuskus, and such. So, we know that in this specific set of actions, generally, we call it paliligo. So that's an example of function in real life, right? So what if we use it in this competition to make our life easier? So we use functions to reuse code, simplify missions, reduce errors, and make debugging easier. Like in one glance, okay, alam ko na agad kung saan ako nagkamali. And also, naming convention is important. When we are creating a function, always use the specific task that you would do. Make it descriptive. For example, I want to go from the CRL to B2 location, from B2 location to A4 location, from A4 location to CRL location. Keep the names consistent and readable. Yan. So I want you to take a moment to look at this code. That's not an actual movement because I know na madami pang improvement there. But I just want you to realize na we can make a function. So this violet block is called a function. Okay, you have a question? Sige, you can open your mic or type in chat. You have a question? Gil? Okay. Chat. Percentage. Sige, let's wait for your question. Sige, while waiting for your question, let me continue the discussion. So take a moment to realize this. So we encapsulated the set of movements. We go forward, we turn left, we grab something, ganyan. then we just go to a specific location. So one question here in the comment, why not use comment instead sa code? Agad, instead, why not just use comment? Eh, same lang naman yung ginagawa nun. Sige, let's discuss. So we are using comment for palatandaan, for for the coder to know the parts of the code. But by using function, we can easily view the code kapag mahaba na siya. So I want you to think, Gil, yan. I want you to think na what if your code is very very long? Like you will scroll a lot of times, right? So you will be having difficulty finding your comment. So look at this function. Look at this function. So instead of reading this whole bunch of code na puro movement, why not just read this part? You know? If I just read this part, alam ko na agad, CRL to A1. Yun lang. I don't need to know the specifics. I just need that it just does the task. I don't need comments, but comments are useful. Comments are useful. Uh, use comments. I recommend to use comments. Yeah. Pero using functions make reading the code better. Yan. So this is the example function for the 𝗕𝗢𝗢𝗦𝗧, and in C++, ayan, this is the example functions in C++. So right now in this training, since we are diverse sa participants, like my lower levels, my higher levels, yeah. So we are showing the Blockly version and the C++ version. So once again, this is for higher levels. This is how you create a function in higher levels. And I want you to sige, screenshot, take a moment. Yan. Right now, balik tayo sa Blockly. Yan. So ito pa yung mga ibang example ng function sa Blockly. So A2 to B2, F4 to CRL. Ayan. So pwede ka maglagay ng set of movements inside. Ayan. Imagine you have very long set of movement. You put it inside and use the function. So ito na. Ayan. Once again, in C++, void does not return something. Ibig sabihin, it doesn't send or return or ibalik yung the data, like any numbers or any text. It does not. So the void function just means parang gumagawa ka ng folder sa code mo, then nilalagay mo dun yung set of actions. So let's try it. Let's use the virtual simulator. So kahit wala tayong physical material, at least we can train our minds. We can ready our minds. Kapag nandyan na yung physical material, alam ko na gagawin ko. Ayan. I want you to feel that way. So let's open this. So I will share this to Zoom chat. So everybody, please check your Zoom chat to open the simulator. So everybody, let's open right now. So let's visit Blockly. ADE. So let me log in. So let's log in po muna. Blockly, pero dapat Python editor. LB editor. Python simulation. Ayun, there you go. Sorry, mali yung link na nabigay ko. Let me resend the link. So, change natin yung link. Yeah. So, is it working? Yeah. So, you must see the same thing. Yeah. So, this is simulation. And I know it is introduced in the previous training. So once again, clarification, guys. The link of the simulation is different from the actual Blockly. So if you can see, okay, so parents and teachers, we need to guide our students here. So LB editor slash index means ito yung ginagamit for actual robotics. Hello sir, mag-leave din po. Okay, no problem, Teacher Cherry, no problem. This is recorded naman. Okay. So, next naman po is, para malaman na simulation to, you can see in the link, LB editor -python -simulation. Yan. So, clear? Then, we need to open the Synapse CT virtually. So, this is how you do it po. Yan. So, this is how you do it. So, let me paste it in Zoom chat so everybody can refer to it. Ayan. Sending in Zoom chat. Ayan po. Then, let's open Blockly editor. Let's do it. So, how do we do it? We click text. We click some text. Ayan. Then, delete na natin to. And we write capital S, Synapse, capital C, CT.01. Ayan. Again, capital S, Synapse, capital C, CT.01. And so we will use the virtual map. So right now, I want you to make a function that moves from point to point, from location to location. Okay? So, let's do this activity. Ayan. So, let's analyze first. So, from CRL, this is the starting position, right? This is the starting position. From CRL to D2. Yan. So, in C++, you can write it like this. This is a blank function. Then, from D2 to E1. Yan. Or alternatively, you can make from CRL to B1. Yan. Or CRL to C1. Yan. So, ayun po yung gagawin natin virtually. Yan. So, let's create. So, gawin muna natin itong CRL to D2. So, how do we make a function out of this? Okay, so let's go here. Blockly. So, to create a function, remember to click this on the left side, function. Then, drag and drop yung do something. Then, remember, we can name our functions. We can name it literally anything. I can name it my name, James, Sir James. I can name it like that. I can name it randomly like this. And but that's not conventional. That's not conventional. So the conventional way of naming a function is you must know the specific thing that it does. So for example, here, void CRL to D2. Okay, let's name it CRL to D2. Yeah. So right now, my motion is like this. I want to turn to the left for like 45 degrees. No lang, I'm just putting some actions and some code. So I will need to fix it later on. So this is for the sake of demo. So then let's put stop. Yeah. So once again, in running some basic motions, the velocity first, which is the speed. Next is the angle of degrees where it turns, then stop, Then next is the velocity again, then the action for the distance, how many distance, then stop. And let's simulate closing some grippers, okay? Simulates closing some grippers. So how do we use this function? We can use this function by clicking this function button. Then may lalabas po dito. As you can see, parents, teachers, and students, you can see a block right here. And you can see a block that we can put inside the LB mission begin. So right now, we don't really need to think the insides of this. If, for example, theoretically, this is already perfect na. We can just tell immediately na, this is CRL to D2. At the very short amount of code. Ayan. So let's try running this one. So to run this one, everybody, you need to click this top right button ng yellow. I will zoom in. You need to click this to open Pnode. Once again, you need to click this. Okay, let me click that. Then we are opening note.phytaverse.space because here in the simulation, hindi po tayo C++. This is Python code. Python is a different language from C++. So let's say C++ is Tagalog, then Python is English. Parang ganon. Then we just need to sign in. Click sign in. Server. Ayun, nag-load na. Ayan. So we will be redirected into this site. So we need to click the Python 3, ipykernel, under the notebook. We need to click this, everyone. Let's click this. Ayan. Then, we need to copy-paste our code. So copy code to clipboard, copy, or you can highlight, then Control-C, or you can right-click to copy, and copy, then paste it here. Paste it here po. And after we paste, we can now run the code by pressing this button. Let's run it. Ayan. So as you can see, when I click this run button, may nagpakitang link. What is this link? We need to click this link to view the sign up city virtually. So dito po tayo magpa-practice. So we're just going to practice the basic concepts that can be useful in real scenarios. Yeah. So what are the limitations in virtual linbot? So as you can see, fixed yung kanyang starting position, fixed. And second, hindi tayo makakasend ng inputs, meaning walang touch sensors, walang line follower, walang ultrasonic sensor, purely virtual. So what we can only do is plan the movement, plan the paths. Yan. So habang wala pa tayong materials, we are prepared. Yan. We are prepared. So more chances of winning. Yan. So let me turn off my camera muna. I'm lagging. Yan. So let's focus on the virtual simulation. So let's start. Let's press start. 3, 2, 1. Yan. Nag-turn ako. 45. Then, nag-move lang forward. Then, nag-close yung gripper ko right here. Yan. So, the question is, did I reach D2? Did I reach D2? No, I did not. Yan. So, I need to fix my code. Yan. So I need to fix the code inside the functions. So what if, and what if meron na tayong naka-prepare na functions pero okay lang kahit wala pang laman. It's okay even though if it's empty. Yan, from D2 to E1. D2 to E1. Then we can put this blank function here. Yan. So remember, when you read the code in Blockly, or in C++, ayan, when you read the code, we can visualize the functions. We can visualize where is it moving. And so by reading this function, now we know na this code goes from CRL to D2, and now we know this code goes from D2 to E1. So why this is important? Because there's a lot of combinations that we need to go through, di ba? Ano yung number one challenge natin, everyone? The randomization. That's why I want you to prepare this kind of functions. So imagine you are prepared na D1 to D1 to E1, D2 to E1, D3 to E1, D4 to E1. It will make your life easier, right? And so you are prepared na may CRL to A, CRL to B, CRL to C, CRL to D. Yan. Then since it's a lot, you can have teamwork and help each other doing those specific kind of movements. So that's why this virtual simulation is so useful. Kasi kahit wala pang map, uh, kahit wala pang material, we can visualize immediately. And we can know immediately. We can prepare. So that when the actual scenario comes in, di ba? When the actual scenario, you don't want to be starting at a vertical diagonal position, di ba? You will make your own strategy, you will make your own starting position. Then later on, you just need to edit your code minimally. Minimal edits na lang because you are prepared. Yan. So right now, in this training session, I want you to actually do this path. I want you to prepare multiple functions that's doing this kind of movement, this path. CRL to D2, D2 to E1, then another example, CRL to C1. Yan. I want you to do those. So before we end, is it okay if someone here in our participants will share the screen? Will share their screen, will share their output. Yan. So, mag-share tayo ng results natin. So, before we end at 11:30. Okay? So, right now, from 10:40 to 11:30, I want you all to code. I want you all to execute this. Yan. Hands-on na po tayo. Yan. So, let's upgrade our training session. Yan, maging hands-on tayo. So, right now, I'm also going to do this. Yan. So, tara. Code na tayo. So, I will mute po muna. If you have any questions, if you have any concerns, just raise your hand and open your mic or chat. And so, tara, let's work on this muna. So hello, you have a question, Gil? Sige, you can type your question or you can open your mic. Sige, what's your question? Hello, okay, nice question, Gil. What is the link of the Jupyter Lab? Okay, so for everybody who's wondering as well, where is this link? You can click this button in the top right. Ayan. So may nakalagay po, Open Keynote. Ayan. So everybody, we can click this Open Keynote. And then you will be redirected here. So alternatively, I can paste the link here in the Zoom meeting chat. Ayan din, note.phytaverse.space. So you have two options, either click this or type in your browser note.phytaverse.space. Okay, let's continue coding. So by the way, I have sent in the chat yung instructions natin. Ayan, yung movement na need natin gawin in this activity. So CRL to D2, then D2 to D1. So once again, after we are finished editing, we can now copy paste this code. Then go here sa Pnote, then paste it. Then close your digital twin simulation. Then click the run button again. Then click this link again. Wait natin siya mag-start. Just wait. Okay, natapos na siya mag-move. Okay, let's run again. Yan. So you notice po when we are restarting again, um, the actual run is nauuna na agad before it actually loads. Yan. So once again, nauuna yung run before mag-load here. Yan. So we need to do these steps. So close the digital twin. Then click on restart the kernel and run all cells. Click to start. And then mag-run again tayo. Yeah. Click. Ayan. So, ayan. Naka-ready position na agad. So once again, participants, if we are ever encountering na stuck sa loading, you just need to click this button. Click this restart kernel. Here. Click this restart kernel. So once again, if you are stuck in loading, just click this restart kernel and run all cells. And there, kita na natin. Start. So nag-turn, 45 degrees. Nag-move. Oops, dumating lang siya sa D4. And I need to adjust something. Yan. So, malayo pa ako sa E1. So, I just need to adjust here sa D2. Yan. So, right now, I want to properly follow the block lines. So, I will not interfere with the blocks inside the city zones. So, yung mga D, yung mga G. So, what I want here is this kind of movement. So, I will revise my movement plan. Go here. Go here. Here. Then go here. Sa E1. Ayan. So I will move forward. Then move forward again. 5 cm. Once again, if you have any questions po, you can raise your hand. And so once again, if you have any questions, raise your hand or you can type in chat. So here from CRL to D2. And so I'll go from here in this terminal to D2. Then I will slightly move forward, then forward again, then turn right. Okay. So once again, these are just my plan. This is just my strategy. If you have better plans, if you have shortcut in mind, feel free to do that. Then D2. Then need to move forward. And I want to add some comments. So to add some comment, we can click the lean bot button, then drag and drop this gray block, which says comment. Yeah. So we can combine comments and functions. Ayan. For example, I can say slide movement to forward. And slight movement to forward. Then I will turn. Degrees. Turn to vertical position. So everybody, I'm encouraging you to create your own code, create your own strategy. So right now, I'm coding my own plan here. So later on po, maybe on 11:20, maybe two participants will present their screen if possible para makita natin yung output nila. So I want to run this again. So restart kernel and run all cells. Close digital twin. Then click the link again. Yeah, there you go. Then let me click start. Kailangan pumunta siya ng D2. Oh, kulang ako. I will need to edit it later. Oh, kulang din ako ng movement. Okay. So, I need to edit it forward. Maybe 60, 10, 90 degrees. And let's try this again. Copy, paste, then restart kernel. Let's click this. Let's start. Okay, D2, green. Slightly move forward. Yun. Oops, lumagpas ako konti. So, next is I need to edit this part. And there you go. So change this 10 centimeter. Okay. Copy. Start. Yes. Joash, you have a question? You can open your mic or type in chat.
My robot is glitching all over the place. It will. My robot is teleporting for some reason. Why is it like that,
Mm,
Bob?
Okay. So it's like that. So let's replicate the error. So maybe, for example, you already finished this and may done. Then maybe you click this and run this cell. And as you can see, nagka-countdown agad. Yan. Then if we click this link, okay, let's wait for it. As you can see, we are loading and we are not spawning in our terminal. Yan. We are not spawning in terminal. So right now, I'm replicating the error. And then right now, as you can see, the lean bot just teleported. Yan, just teleported. And my loading sign right here. Ayan. So, to fix that, make sure we close our digital twin. Okay, let's close our digital twin. Tada. Yan. Make sure close Then, rerun the code by restarting the kernel. Yan. So, we need to click this. Yan. This part. So, as you can see, if I click this, I will restart kernel, then, may magpapakita na result down below. Please go to this link. Yan. And as you can see, there's no go text that's showing here. So we need to click this. Then we need to make sure na may lalabas na start button here. So that's one of the factor kaya naglalag. Second factor is your internet connection. So maybe your code is correct, but your internet is showing laggy behaviors. So for in this example, ayan, we follow the steps. We can now click the start. And well, there's no 3, 2, 1, go in here. Ibig sabihin, nasa tamang step tayo. Yan. We are in the correct step. Yan. Then, click start. 3, 2, 1. And dyan lang lumabas yung countdown. Then, nag-go. Yun. Ibig sabihin, di na tayo magte-teleport. It will run smoothly. So, another factor. So, factor number 3. What if your movement is too huge? So, may tendency na mag-overlap siya sa outbounds. Yan. So, ibig sabihin lalagpas. So, for example, I put my distance like 100. Yan. So, there's a tendency na maglag or lumagpas or mag-glitch. Yan. So, for example, here, copy, paste, then run the code, restart. Yan. As you can see, I'm opening my both digital twin. So this is bad practice. So you need to only open only one digital twin and close the other one para iwas glitch. Then, start. Yan. So as you can see, I increased my distance to 100 cm. Look how it goes. Lalabas na siya sa mapa. Boom. So if I'm laggy and my distance is so far, yan, maybe I can see my linbot teleporting or glitching outside. So did I answer your question? Kamusta naman? So time check, it's almost 11:30. It's 11:10 right now. So who wants to present their screen? Kahit simple movement lang, kahit simple program, basta using functions. Who wants to present? Anybody? Ayan, may nag-raise ng hand. Yes, Gil? Do you have a question or you want to present? You have everything in the chat is getting removed. What do you mean? What chat? Here in Zoom meeting chat? Everything in chat is getting removed. I don't really know how to answer that question. What do you mean getting removed? Like nawawala? So maybe when you join and rejoin, when you are disconnecting, yan, you can't see the links that I have sent. Okay. Maybe you have rejoined. Maybe you disconnected quite kanina, then just rejoined then the chat will not load. So for your convenience, I can resend the links. Yeah, I can resend the links. So I think 1, I think 2. And there you go. I sent the links in Zoom meeting chat. Ayan, participants. So you can see, as I code more and more and more, my code goes very, very long. Ayan. So that's the problem, right? When we are reading the code, it goes very long. So when you are reading this normally without using any functions, you will be confused. Masakit sa mata. So by using functions like this, we can easily read na we are from CRL to D2, then D2 to E1. Then we are just editing this specifics inside this function. Yan. So right now, before may mag-present, I want you to know na pwede natin to i-save. Yan. So we can save to 𝗥𝗘𝗖𝗔𝗣 file. Yan. So everybody, look at the screen. Take a moment to notice my screen share. Yan. So everybody, we can save it by, ito, top left, click the three buttons, then save to 𝗥𝗘𝗖𝗔𝗣 file. Then we can rename it to anything that we want. For example, Synapse City Mission 1 sample. Yan. You can name it anything that you want, then click OK to save our code. So you can see, nag-save na tayo ng .bduino file. And this similar code, we can load it into our actual 𝗥𝗘𝗐, into our physical 𝗥𝗘𝗐. So we can edit later on or in the future yung code natin. So as you can see, we have prepared. We just need to edit slightly sa future. And that's why useful si virtual. So remember lang, virtual is different from physical. So expect there's some slight changes that needs to be made when dealing with physical robot because there's a lot of factor. The speed can change kapag malapit na malobat, the friction, the speed, the turning, the momentum, and there's a lot to factor. What's that? Okay, I can see your screenshot. Set key mappings. Yung settings right here. So here in settings, we don't need how to remove po. Okay, let's replicate your error. May set key mappings. Saan mo kaya na-click yan? Categories choice. I'm not really sure how you click that part. Maybe just click refresh. Ayan o. Click refresh. And just click refresh. And maybe it will be removed. And or you can close the whole website. Close the whole website. Then try to open a new one. So I guess you are opening it on a iPad. Not really sure. On a Mac. iPad. Okay. So right now I'm using laptop. So it's not showing on my end. So maybe kapag iPad nag-show up yan. So I will look into that. Ayan. Good morning po, Sir James. What to do po if my code is not running in Pinode? I'm clicking the button for run this cell and advance. Okay. And it keeps showing me this po. And leading zeros in decimal integer literals are not permitted. Okay, so Renee Ang, can you show your screen, or can I see some screenshots of your code? Maybe I can help better if I see your code. So thank you for the syntax error. Okay. And there's another error. Genesis de Mesa. So MQTT connect failed. Then here. Okay, wow. Ang daming errors. Okay. Okay, let's do this. Okay. Okay. Sige, let's discuss the errors one by one. Let's discuss the errors po one by one. Don't worry. So, wait lang. Where's my screen share? Okay, for Rene Ang, okay. So I noticed that you have opened the C++ version. So nakita niyo po yung may mga void setup, void loop. It's the C++ version. Make sure to open the IDE.pythaverse.space na LB editor -python simulator. So open this. So I will reply here. So please open this instead of generic block physical. Ayan. So I replied to your error. Ayan. So next is error naman ni Genesis. For the MQTT connect failed, so it means you are not connected to the client or to the server. So my tip is try opening it in incognito mode. Try opening in incognito, log in, then refresh. Yan. Python simulation. Ayan. And I replied. So if we see this MQTT connect error, so this one is a very common error. Okay, let me share that to my screen. Ayan. So whenever we encounter this error, you can do these following steps. You can close the P node. You can close it. You can close the digital twin, close the LB editor, yan. Then reopen it again later on. And if it still does not work, try opening it in incognito mode. So this one is very common. And also, to prevent this kind of error, make sure you are logged in to pythaverse.space. Make sure you are logged in. Okay, we got some new replies. It's when I type po. So whenever you type something here, nagsho-show up yun. Maybe it's because you are using iPad. So I recommend to use a laptop para smooth yung experience. But thank you for that report. I will report that to the dev team. So I will save that screenshot, and for iPad users. Okay. Sige. So I will forward this to the dev team. So let's see if they can do something for iPad users like you. Okay. Ayan po. So time check, it's 11:25. So before we end our weekly training, let me present my trial to that activity. Ayan. So once again, I click kernel, restart the kernel and run all cells. And lalabas po yung link. Ayan. So if ever man magkaroon ng error na MQTT error, another option you can do is you can copy paste all of the code like this and go to your untitled IPYNB. Yan. Hindi untitled 1, hindi untitled 2. You can go to untitled IPYNB, copy paste it, and restart in kernel. And you can also do that. Yan. Then, let's demo. Yan. Was 45. Max speed, 59 RPM. Go to D2. Forward a little bit. Up. Sumabot ako ng turn. So, my remaining fixes are, I just need to maybe rotate 45 degrees, then move forward later on sa E. Yeah. So, as you can see, there's a lot of fixes that I need to do, but you can practice here virtually muna. So, before we end our training session, let's wrap up. So the purpose of functions, of using functions, is to make reading easier. Yan. Remember the word readable. So, let's go back to one of the questions earlier. Why not just use comments? Yan. Because when we just use comments, imagine we don't have oh wait, I'm not sharing my screen. So let me share my screen again. And so this is my run. There you go. So let me rerun this run so you can see it. So to wrap this all up, let's edit this and make this correct. So I'm going to have my final run and before we end. So this is just a demo. So as you can see, just going from D2 to E1 takes a lot of code. Yeah, it's very long, right? It's so long. So by using functions, we can easily read it like this. Yeah. So what if our code looks like this? Just comments, no functions. If it looks like this. So we can copy our whole code, copy blocks, then paste whole blocks here. Yeah. What if we did not use any functions? This is how it looks like. Yeah, there you go. So this is how it looks like if we don't use any functions. Mahaba. We don't really see the summary of our code. Not really readable. Thanks to the comments, we know where it goes and whatnot. But thanks to the function, we can easily read our code like this. From CRL to D2, from D2 to E1. See the difference? So whenever we are competing, we need to be fast. We need to browse our codes. We need to glance. So we can practice frequently. So in just one glance of our code, okay, I know this does something. And the usage of function is we can copy paste, we can transfer these functions to another file, to another code. So that will be the topic for the next training sessions. Yeah. So my recommendation is you can practice at home. If it's still not working, try another device, try using a laptop. And so you can have a smooth experience. Yeah. So if you still have error encountered, maybe try again later. Yan. Maybe it's the connection. Yan. So to wrap this all up, yan. And any questions left? And any clarifications? Okay, if there's none, I really appreciate your questions earlier. Yan, yung mga errors na na-encounter natin, I really appreciate that. So I hope mas maging familiar na tayo in the next week sessions because we will go progressive in the following weeks. As you can see, kahit week 5 na tayo, we're still on the basics. But that's all right because when we master the basics, we can go on more advanced stuff. Yeah. Yan. So once again, thank you everyone. So if your school wants to purchase the materials and the courses, so this training is actually different from the courses inside. So for example, your school has availed the Roboton competition. These courses will come in together. So, what are the perks of learning these courses? So, what I'm teaching right now is very different from what you can read here. So, you can actually see some example codes already. So, inside these courses, yun. So, may mga template codes na po that you can copy and paste and you can build from it. And there's a lot of examples. Like this short training is only 1 hour and 30 minutes. So that's not enough, of course. But if you really, really, really want to learn, if you really, really want to focus and really, really, really want to win, and there's a lot of codes inside this courses. Yan. So yun lang po. So once again, thank you po for everyone for attending this weekly session. And so it's good to be back again. So I've been busy the following months. Kaya si Sir Hillard, thank you for Sir Hillard for teaching you. And so I hope you learned a lot from us, especially from our previous trainings. And so see you again po everyone. Thank you. And bye-bye po.